Okay, today's session is of soil formation and major soil deposits in India. As we know, soil is normally occurring material which is loose and soft in deposit, and it is a part of Earth's crust, produced by a result of weathering or disintegration action of the rock formation. So, the top layer of the ground that support vegetation is termed as topsoil or soil, and an undisturbed strata which is lying immediately below the topsoil is called as subsoil. Okay. So these are the forms of soil that we know. Now, as we know, most suitable sites for construction have been already used up, and often we have to compromise with a site which is having unsatisfactory strata condition or soil condition. So it may be possible to improve the soil condition by suitable treatment, but mostly we have to accept the soil in its natural state, and we can modify or improvement can be done with improvement techniques. Now soil consists of discrete solid particles which can be bonded as a solid or which can be loosely bonded, or free particles might be there. We will see in detail of soil formation. So it is formed due to the weathering action of rocks. Okay. So you can see in the pictures some weathering action over here. Weathering means disintegration of the rock. So soil formation, it is very long process, and the rocks are disintegrate away by different agents or erosions through river, wind, or sea. Okay, so the sediments of this fragmented rock or disintegrated rock, which are particles, are deposited at different places with the help of these agents, erosion agents. So accumulation of such sediments over ages forms the soil. So eventually on this topsoil, the plants will grow again, they will decay, and to form the topmost layer of the soil. So weathering, it is a process where an intact rock mass is decomposed or disintegrated or broken into a loose material by the action of various atmospheric agents. Okay, that we'll see one by one. So broadly, the types of weathering are divided into mechanical weathering or physical weathering, and second part is chemical weathering. So physical weathering or mechanical weathering uh, is done by different agents. So that is temperature changes, freezing or thawing, erosion, natural disaster like landslide, activities by plants or animals or humans. Okay, so physical weathering occurs due to water, in terms of water movement with major force, which cause physical weathering, that is persistent crash of waves or persistent crash of some waterfall. Freezing weathering can be occurs when water seeps into the rocks, and then in the cracks it freezes. So what will happen? It expands in the crack, and which causes further cracks in the rock, which will disintegrate rock into smaller particles. Wind weathering, here you can see when the particles with the heavy wind are moving, that will try to erode whichever obstruction in terms of rock, in terms of monuments, it will try to wither it. Okay. So soil formed by this mechanical or physical weathering have same composition as that of its parent rock. So soil formed by this mechanical weathering retains the mineral and material fibers of the parent rock. So it mostly of coarse grained soil that we know as the sand, gravels, okay, which are basic examples of this mechanical weathering. Then comes to the chemical weathering. So that is weathering caused by decomposition of rock mineral by different chemical processes like oxidation, hydration, carbonation. Okay, so these are part of chemical weathering. So from these different types of soil like clays and organic soils can be formed. So this is the carbonation process one picture has shown. This is the rock cycle. So you can see basically three types of rocks are shown here: sedimentary rock, igneous rock, and metamorphic rocks. So when sedimentary rocks or metamorphic rocks melt, and then after cooling down, it will form the igneous rock. And mutually, all of them can be get withered with the help of different physical agents or chemical weathering, and they can form the soil. Now, the soil deposits in the India have broadly categorized into two parts, that is residual soil and transported soil. So residual soil, if product of rock weathering are still located at the place where they are originated, then it is termed as residual soil. So this soil will lie directly above the bedrock. Okay. So basic example of this is igneous rock like granite, basalt, sedimentary rocks such as sandstone, limestone. Okay. Another type is transported.
Marble.
Yes, yes. Another type is transported soil. So any soil that has been transported from its place of origin by the wind or water or ice or any other agent, and then it is redeposited at other place, then it is termed as transported soil. Okay. So we'll see the major soil deposits of India. Now first here is alluvial deposit. So alluvial deposit, uh, in the large part of India it is covered. The thickness of this deposit, sometimes it is over 100 meter, and it have alternating layers of sand, silt, clay, and it can extend from Assam in the east to the Punjab in the west, and the deposits are of low density and are liable to liquefaction in the earthquake prone areas. Okay, the basic definition of alluvial soil is when uh, any type of soil or any type of particles are carried and deposited by water, then it is called as alluvial soils. Okay, so these are some pictures. Next is black cotton soil or black soil. So it are more mainly found over Deccan lava tract in the Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat. So these are the pictures. So large part of central area and a portion of South India is covered with black cotton soil, and it has majorly high plasticity property, high shrinkage property, swelling characteristics. So shear strength of this type of soil is very low, and the black cotton soil is given name because of the good field of cotton can be grown on this soil. So it is termed as black cotton soil. Next comes the laterite soil. It is Latin word which is for the bricks. So from the laterite soil, under high temperature and heavy rainfall, uh, these soils are formed. The presence of iron oxide in the soil gives the characteristics of red color or pink color. So these are again residual formed from the basalt. Again, laterite soil exists in central, southern, and eastern India, like Maharashtra state, Karnataka state, Kerala, West Bengal, Orissa. So these are soft and can be cut with the chisel. So you can give a proper shape like a brick. That's why that laterite name is given. Next is desert soil. So large part of Rajasthan and adjoining state is covered with these sand dunes. And in this area, arid conditions exist with very practically less rainfall. So these sand forms mostly travel with the wind. So dune sand is uniform in gradation, means the size range of the fine sand is uniform. Okay. Now the property you can see easily captured properties are non-plastic and highly pervious properties are there. So these are all transported soils. Now in this, some of like definition can be asked in the university. So as I told you, alluvial soil is nothing but the soil which is carried and deposited by water. Aeolian soil, the second one, when the soil deposit is carried by wind and deposited by wind, like in the desert area. Okay. Then lacustrine soil means when soil particles carried by flowing water and deposited in the lake, then we call it as a lacustrine soil. Glacial soil means a deposit made by glaciers. So soil which mixed with ice and transported from original place to other place, then it is termed as glacial soil. Then pit means a fibrous aggregate or fine fragments of decayed vegetable. So it is a very humid part of the soil where decayed vegetables can be considered. And lastly, colluvial soils. So soil transported and deposited by gravity. Then we term it as a colluvial soil. Under this category, landslides might be there, earthquakes might be there, right? Because it transported by gravity.